The human need to explore is deep within all of us. Our ancestors crossed mountain ranges, sailed open oceans to map new lands, and sought out the unknown while always looking to the stars. We're curious, and now we're at a place where we can pioneer new horizons. Because Earth, this blue planet, and all its beauty, is just our starting place.
It's time to
5,
go again.
4, command engine start, 2, 1.
And the
New Shepard has cleared the tower.
5,000 feet and climbing.
This is nuts! Yes, guys, we're doing it!
Now is the time to open the promise of space to all and lay the way for generations to come. When our descendants look to the stars, perhaps from a rocky moon or colonies floating in open space, they'll remember this time. When they reflect on where it started, they'll remember this place.
Crew capsule touchdown!
And when they honor those first explorers who said, "Let's go," they'll remember these bold steps. We are of blue origin. And this is just the beginning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to New Shepard's 8th human flight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ariane Cornell, joined by my co-host here, Jackie Cortez, who's our Senior Director of Civil Space. Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning, Ariane. Thank you for that intro. I have to say, I really enjoy and love hosting these webcasts with you. And
back at you, girl.
Again, though, similar to last webcast, it's not just the two of us. How is our third webcast host doing?
This is true. There's a third one hiding, not as much behind the desk here anymore, but yeah, 34 weeks and counting for liftoff of little future astronaut number 2 here. So no, thank you for asking. She's going to continue to take a nap here. It's a little early on the West Coast, but why don't we get into our show? Our astronauts right now are just about to walk across that launch tower you see on your screen here and ingress into the crew capsule for today's flight.
Another great flight ahead today. So Ariane, tell us, who are the lucky 6 people going to space today?
Let's start with Nicolina Elrick. She's a philanthropist and entrepreneur. Oh, good-looking crew right there.
That's right.
Rob Ferl, a professor and researcher at the University of Florida. We've got entrepreneur Eugene Grin. We've got Dr. Eiman Jahangir. He's a cardiologist and associate professor at Vanderbilt University. Karsen Kitchen, a senior at the University of North Carolina. I know I was not doing something this exciting when I was a senior in college. So good on you, girl. And last but not least, philanthropist and entrepreneur Ephraim Rabin.
This is set to be another incredible crew flying to space and back today. A fun fact for this crew, they've named themselves Blue Steel, which I think is really fun.
I love it.
It's a great name. Like you said, these crew photos are amazing. And that patch in the bottom right hand of your screen is carefully designed for this mission. It's unique to every crew that we fly. We'll get into it later, sort of the symbolism behind it, but that's a gorgeous patch.
Yeah, we'll take a closer look at today's crew, as you said, and the patch a little bit later. But why don't we take a look back at the other star of the show, New Shepard, and how we have gotten here today with this rocket.
Capsule.
Go.
Holy monkey.
Booster.
Is this wild?
Go.
Each person that goes up there.
Oh my golly! This is nuts!
Ground. Go.
All of a sudden has a totally different perspective.
Wow, look at that view.
Captain off. Go.
Of this little place here.
New Shepard is go for launch.
This is heaven!
It's almost like an out-of-body experience.
New Shepard has cleared the tower.
This is a new era where people like A teacher from North Carolina gets to go to space.
Space has always been something I've wanted to do, but it's never been accessible until now.
Look at that view. Look at the view.
It's just unbelievable. You have to see it with your eyes to really, really take it in. Everybody else should go to space.
Look at the Earth. Just look outside. Look at the Earth. We're in space.
This is a life-changing experience. Everybody needs to do this.
It was absolutely insane. I mean, it's the coolest thing ever. Oh my word. I'm just spinning.
That was enlightenment.
This is the best experience of my life, by far. Everyone in the world deserves to see this. Everyone needs to see this. Oh my God.
It's just a dream come true. I wanted to do this my entire life.
I just went to space as the first woman from Mexico.
I think we need to give this gift of perspective to everybody.
Oh man, this is so cool. I always said I'm going to do it, and I just did it.
We went to space!
What you have given me is the most profound experience I can imagine. I can't believe this.
As soon as you land, you will want more of it.
These astronauts get to witness firsthand our planet from space. And they return with this new outlook for the future of our planet. And I think one of the things I love about that video, Jackie, is just the energy when they land. They are basically still soaking in the overview effect as like we're catching them in the moment. It's pretty incredible. And so far we've flown 37 people across 7 human space flights. Today we'll bring the total up to 43. All told, that's about 5% of all people that have ever flown above the Kármán line, which is the internationally recognized line of space at 100 kilometers up. And we have flown 9%, almost 10% of all the women that have flown to space, which is really cool. Again, one step in terms of opening doors for many more people. We see our live camera. We've got ingress going on of our astronauts down there in West Texas, and our crew member 7, Sarah Knight, up there on the tower with them. We'll get into who is crew member 7 a little bit later in the show. Jackie.
It's getting real for this crew right now, and New Shepard has done things that no other rocket, has done in history. And one of those unprecedented things is everyday people, like our astronauts today, can visit space. It's really amazing.
Absolutely. All right, we are at T-minus 31 minutes and 45 seconds to go until launch. And why don't we talk, there, as you said, 6 astronauts in the rocket, in the capsule that is. And why don't we dive a little deeper into one of them, which is Dr. Rob Ferl, who has a unique job to perform on board today. We mentioned he's a distinguished professor and assistant vice president for research at the University of Florida. Already quite an impressive CV. But we're going to add to that CV. He's going to turn into an astronaut, but not just that, but he's going to be flying with his research in the capsule, becoming the first NASA-funded research to conduct an experiment as part of a commercial suborbital crew.
And Rob's doing real serious science on this flight. He's performing an experiment designed to understand how genes react to the transition to and from microgravity, which will lead to a better understanding of how living organisms respond to space travel at the molecular level, which is giving me major, biology flashbacks,
You're getting
chlorophyll and such. It's
AP bio anxiety.
Right. But these results are going to be really interesting for wide-ranging fields from space medicine to drug research and agriculture.
Yeah, and absolutely. And as we at Blue Origin and others around the world are looking to go further into space, understanding how humans and our bodies react is really important. Absolutely. All right, we're going to throw it over to our capsule communicator. We're going to do a comms check with our astronauts right now. Let's check it out.
Cameras were good. Oh, we didn't call out EVS. Oh, you did? Okay.
So Jackie, we're just waiting here as our team gets aligned, waiting for the capsule communicator to communicate with each one of the 6 astronauts to make sure that their comm systems are working. You saw on the bottom right, that is Laura Stiles. Again, we're going to talk more about the crew member 7 role. There are 2 people that play a crew member 7 role. One, we talked about Sarah Knights. She does the training with the astronauts for the 2 days prior, but also Laura Stiles, who is on Capcom, Capsule Communicator. So she's the one who is in our astronauts here. And that's really important because the crew member 7, their role is to make our customers feel comfortable. And we don't have somebody from Blue Origin in the capsule as they go up to space and back. So, but we are with them the entire flight, the entire, from the moment they land in West Texas and even before, through the moment that they land back on Earth from their flight to space. These 2 members of the crew member 7 are taking care of our team.
Yeah, and these crew member 7s are exceptional people. They really are. You know, we have professional record-holding skydivers like Laura. You know, we have Navy submarine divers. We have the full gamut of just exceptional people. And like you were saying earlier, you know, when we were talking yesterday, Ariane, it's these people have a unique skill set of being, you know, technical and being able to communicate these complex technical, you know, processes and what's happening during flight, but they're also, you know, able to make people feel confident, and they're, you know, they're that voice in the capsule throughout the entire mission, making you feel very comfortable, very educated and excited for your flight.
And prepared. Yeah. Prepared. It's hard to be excited in a positive way if you're not prepared. And to your point, the kind of the qualitative and quantitative mix of the skill set is unique and hard to balance. Not everybody has that. All right, we are T-minus 27 minutes and 20 seconds to go until launch. We've got 6 astronauts that are in the capsule right now. One of them, we've talked about all 6 of them. It's a really nice mix. One of them is Rob Ferl, Dr. Rob Ferl, and he is going to be doing experiments when he's in the middle of his space flight to look at how genes change on your way up, but also on the way back from space. Really important. You've worked a lot. You are our main face with our fantastic customer, NASA. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about the program that is taking him up there and sponsoring his research.
Absolutely, and as we noted, it's a super unique opportunity to go to space with your research, and Rob is the first NASA-funded researcher to fly on a commercial suborbital flight. So this is a really big moment for us at Blue, but also all the advocates across the spaceflight community who have been, you know, waiting and excited and pushing for this moment. So let's take a closer look at how today's flight came together for our very special astronaut and researcher, Dr. Rob Ferl.
What does it take to adapt to living in space? We'd like to know.
The value of being able to conduct your own experiment is this concept of knowing best how to execute the experiment, understanding what's important and what's not. So we're really quite thrilled that Rob is going to be the one actually in the seat.
In order to lead up to the space flight, we do practice runs. So our practice run starts with the astronaut loading into the capsule. Once he is into the chair inside our mock capsule, he loads the plants onto his legs. He's carrying 8 samples activated at 4 different points during the flight. The first sample set is activated while they're still on the ground. At the same time that his experiment is activated, there's a ground control being activated to run parallel. Once the simulation starts running, he has a second set to activate, which is when the capsule separates from the rocket booster. During the microgravity experience, he and the plants are free floating inside the capsule and in space. The third set of KFTs are activated prior to re-entry, where they will experience a high G-force. At that point, he enters back into the chair, puts his seatbelt back on, and gets ready to activate during the buzzing sound of 30 seconds to re-entry.
The experiment we're conducting on Blue Origin is one that allows us to see how plants respond in this transition from a normal terrestrial environment to a microgravity environment of near space.
This is part of a culture of deep experiential science that I think is characteristic of the curiosity of science. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to go take it all to another level. So how does it feel to go to space? Pretty incredible.
That's so cool. You know,
yes.
Jackie, I've been at Blue since our very first mission. And it's been so exciting to watch how New Shepard has evolved over the years from doing payload flights only to now payload and human space flights to also the tended payloads.
Science.
Let's listen into that comms check.
A little garbled, but I can hear you.
Copy. I have you loud and clear. Astronaut Kitchen.
Astronaut Kitchen. Astronaut Kitchen. Clear.
Copy. Phoenix.
Blue Control, Phoenix, let's rock and roll.
All right. Concur. Crew, we are at T-minus 22 minutes and counting. As we proceed, I'll do my best to keep you updated, but for now, just sit back and relax.
All right, Jackie, we just heard it there. Our comms team our capsule communicator has confirmed with the astronaut crew that the comm system is working and ready to go, and they're coming in clear. You can tell they are ready to rock and roll. They're ready to get on this flight and go to space.
There were some energetic voices there, which we always love to hear during a Capcom check. That's very, very exciting. Very positive.
They've got to be jacked. That is super, super exciting. So we heard from all 6 of them. We were just talking, actually, before we got into the comms check here, about Rob Ferl and his experiments. And we've gone from payloads to astronaut flights and now tended payload flights. And that's really, it's, you know, we talked about it since the beginning of this program, is that's where we wanted to end up, because it's a really important pipeline for these researchers that sometimes you don't necessarily want or need your experiment to go all the way up to the International Space Station. You need a couple of minutes of some really clean G's. Maybe that's going to expand your technical readiness level to then go to the International Space Station. So it's nice to have this as a stepping stone.
Truly, and it's been a long time coming. Like I mentioned, a lot of us at Blue, but honestly, the bigger community, Rob and Annalisa, so many people, you know, at so many different institutions and at NASA have been looking forward to seeing this kind of flight happen. And we hope to see so many more in the future. Like, I think it's so amazing that Rob and his team flew multiple payloads on our uncrewed missions. And now for Rob to get to fly with his science is just absolutely exciting. Rob's flight was made possible thanks to funding through a NASA Tech Flights grant by the agency's Flight Opportunities Program and NASA's Division of Biological and Physical Sciences, which is just an amazing collaboration here.
Yeah, so cool. Well, so that's a deep dive on our friend, colleague, and future astronaut, Rob Ferl. Let's meet the rest of the crew. We're at T-minus 20 minutes to go until liftoff for New Shepard's 26th mission, our 8th human space flight. Who are astronauts number 38 through 43. Kick it off,
The
Jackie.
true stars of the show.
Exactly.
I'm happy to. In seat number 1, we have Ephraim Rabin. Ephraim is an entrepreneur and philanthropist. His company has revolutionized supply chains for raw materials around the world. He's a race car driver, chef, avid skier, adventurer, and soon-to-be astronaut. Quite a catalog there. In seat number 2 is Nicolina Elrick, a philanthropist, entrepreneur, and advocate for STEAM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, the Arts, and Mathematics. She's dedicated her life to mentoring aspiring entrepreneurs. She's a spirited explorer and has a lifelong passion for aviation. She's a certified helicopter pilot, and boy, she's going a little bit higher, and we'll have quite a beautiful view today.
She's going to have a spectacular view. Let's keep on going. Seat number 3, we've got Eugene Grin. He was born in Ukraine and emigrated to the U.S. in the late 70s to start his career in real estate and finance. He lives in upstate New York as a passionate traveler. And let me tell you, he's going to add a pretty cool destination. I was going to say to his passport, but not really to his passport, I guess.
We need to offer stamps.
We need to get on that stamp game. Good idea, Jackie. All right, seat number 4, Professor Rob Ferl. We learned about him just a moment ago. He's the director of the Astreus Space Institute at University of Florida. He and his team have the space plant at the Space Plants Lab have flown 5 experiments on New Shepard already. So he is a veteran of the New Shepard program, but all of this is in an effort to study how living organisms respond to extreme conditions. Can't wait to see how that research comes out today.
That is one research paper I will be reading. I'm marking it now.
Do that.
I'm marking it now. In seat number 5, we have Karsen Kitchen. She's poised to make history today as the youngest woman ever to cross the Kármán line. She's a senior at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and earlier this year, she founded Orbitel, an incredible initiative to encourage young women and girls to pursue careers in the space industry. Fun fact about Karsen, she is part of a space family and is the daughter of another New Shepard astronaut, Jim Kitchen.
Very close-knit family. What's that expression? A family that goes to space together, stays together.
For sure.
Isn't that totally? That's totally how that expression goes.
That's definitely
No, but we've been very fortunate to fly Laura Shepard, of course, daughter of Alan Shepard, our namesake for the New Shepard program, but also Cameron and Lane Bess went together.
And Jeff and Mark Bezos.
And Jeff and Mark Bezos.
Actually,
That's a really good point.
It's a family affair.
So last but not least, in seat number 6 is Dr. Eiman Jahangir. Eiman is a cardiologist and associate professor of medicine and radiology at Vanderbilt University. His flight today was made possible by Moondow, an organization whose mission is to accelerate a multiplanetary future. So that's our crew today, 6 incredible people who are ready for the ride of their life. All right, we are at T-minus 16 minutes and 45 seconds to go until our 26th mission of the New Shepard program, the 8th human space flight in our program. And it is really, as we were talking about the evolution of the New Shepard program, it is just fantastic to see as we continue to open doors for more people in this space frontier. Okay. We are at T-minus 16 minutes to go until launch. We've got our 6 astronauts that are in the crew capsule, and they are buckled in. We've gone through our Capcom checks. And why don't we send it over to the rocket for a moment as we listen in and get ready for New Shepard's launch to space today. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for New Shepard's 26th mission to space and back, our 8th human space flight. We've got astronauts number 38 through 43 of the New Shepard program, all buckled in and ready to go for their flight to space today. Now, talking about this crew made their very own postcards. We've talked about this postcard program for the Club for the Future. That's our nonprofit. So as part of the tradition, they made their own postcards that will fly to space. Every time we fly astronauts, each one of them creates their own postcard to take with them. We love this. You get to see the artistic side of them. There's Nicolina. These people tend to be a lot better astronauts than I am. A lot better artists than I am. So I'm always a little bit jealous. Now, the reason why we fly these postcards is we want to make space more accessible, primarily to students. Again, this is through our Club for the Future program. We want to see kids around the world get engaged in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
To make the Club for the Future program even more accessible, we recently launched an online way for students to draw digital postcards and send their art to space on New Shepard. If you want to participate in this program to create some inspiring art that literally goes to space, this is a great way to jump in. Anyone can do it. It's free. It's easy. It's just super fun. Go ahead to draw.clubforthefuture.org and you can sketch your idea from the app to space.
I love it. There's a lot to be said for that tangible card that's gone to space. But I also love how we're opening up more broadly so that anybody around the world can send something to space and back. Really inspiring. I wish I had that program when I was growing up.
Me too. And things are also ramping up for our initiative with Space for All, our nonprofit Club for the Future, and its elite partners, Women in Aerospace, AIAA, and the Space Foundation, are rolling out a multi-year campaign that will help educate and inform audiences about the why. Why do we go to space? What are the benefits? This campaign is really special because it aligns with the White House Interagency Roadmap. And the goal of that is to increase space-related STEAM education for all children, no matter who they are, where they're from. You know, Ariane, as this campaign begins to unfold, we're going to see the collective power of these, space super organizations coming together for good. So stay tuned for more Space for All activities. It's going to be exciting.
It's great to see other, lack of a better term, like-minded organizations, as you said, pulling their superpowers together to open up space for the next generation. We're building the road. They're going to have to build on top of it in space. Okay, we're at T-minus 12 minutes to go until launch. Let's take a look at the flight profile of what the astronauts are going to be flying today on New Shepard.
Right, and it's a suborbital vehicle, as we've discussed, which is just a fantastic way to experience space because, we've said it again and again, but it's so accessible. It's open to everyone, not just traditional professional astronauts. It's a straight up, straight down flight path, about 15 minutes. So again, for everyday people in smaller organizations and universities to fly payloads and experiment at a smaller scale than, like you said, going to the International Space Station, which is amazing, but it's just a much bigger undertaking. And, this way you can get your results back same day you launch them to space. You can go to space on a 15-minute journey. Again, just everyday people.
It's beautiful, clean G's, simple up, simple back down over the Kármán line. Let's check out this video and learn a little bit more.
7, 6.
New Shepard's mission
5,
begins when the
4,
countdown clock reaches 0.
2, 1, 0.
At this point, the engine will start and the rocket will lift off of the pad. It will continue under the boost phase for about 2.5 minutes until main engine cutoff. 20 seconds later, the crew capsule will separate from the booster and the astronauts will unharness and enjoy 0G.
Guys, we're doing it!
The crew capsule will continue past the Kármán line to an ultimate apogee of 350,000 feet, or 100 kilometers. The booster will autonomously land on the landing pad, ready to be prepped for its next flight. Around 3.5 minutes after separation, the crew capsule will begin to re-enter Earth's atmosphere. Parachutes will deploy around an altitude of 7,000 feet or 2,100 meters, providing a nice, slow descent back to Earth. After landing, astronauts exit the capsule and are greeted by the Blue Origin ground crew, family, and friends to celebrate and reflect on their flight. New Shepard, an adventure unlike anything on Earth.
Go, no go for terminal count and launch. Booster. Go. Capsule.
Go.
Ground.
Go.
Safety.
Go.
Capcom.
Go.
Engineering. Go. And flight is go. With that, New Shepard is go for launch. Booster, commence terminal count. We'll go flight. Controllers, drop UHF voice.
Excellent! 8 minutes, guys. 9 minutes. Kubo still. My heart is definitely racing, but I'm very happy.
And Booster, I see all 3s for trajectory injects.
Copy all 3s.
All right, and you heard it there, our go, no go poll. We are go for launch. You also heard again, our astronauts are in there. They are ready to rock and roll.
It's game on, and I hear some excited cheers from inside. It is truly go time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we sit here at the desk and we've got all this adrenaline. I can't imagine being in that capsule right now. Their dreams, they're all coming down to this one moment. Super exciting. Okay, we're at T-minus 8 minutes ago until launch for New Shepard's 26th mission, our 8 human space flight. Let's talk about the vehicle carrying those 6 astronauts up, our crew capsule called the RSS First Step. Jackie, we love a good astronaut in the space industry. You wanna talk us through that name?
I'm happy to, and this probably won't even be the last acronym today.
No.
We love acronyms in space. RSS means reusable spaceship. This capsule in today's flight has already flown to space and back 9 times. We achieve our long-term vision by building reusable vehicles. Fun trivia fact for those playing along, 99% of New Shepard's dry mass is reused, everything from the crew capsule to the booster to the engines and parachutes. Our vehicle, New Shepard, is currently designed for 25 missions, but we are striving to quadruple that number as the program continues.
I'm taking that 99% number to pub trivia night on Tuesday. I'll see you there. Non-alcoholic beer for everybody. It's okay. It's okay. But seriously, getting back to that number of 99% and 25 usable, 25 flights on the reusable booster, trying to quadruple that. Reusability is so important. Not only does it reduce the cost of access to space and space travel, but it also significantly reduces the waste. It's just much kinder. Our vision is millions of people living and working in space for the benefit of Earth. So we got to make sure that our program also fits into that vision.
So continuing the trivia facts to that end, New Shepard's engine is fueled by a highly efficient combination of liquid oxygen and hydrogen. So during the flight, the only byproduct of that, again, maybe going to chemistry now, not biology, but the byproduct of that is water vapor.
Yeah, so for all of you at home today, when you see that white plume coming out of the base of the rocket, that will be steam.
Right.
And so it's, it's a much cleaner engine than a lot of the traditional rocket engines that have been used in the past. Okay, we're at T-minus 6 minutes to go until launch. We've got some really cool footage here from the training that our astronauts went through over the last couple of days. So our astronauts joined us about 3 days ago down in West Texas, and then they spend 2 days going through extensive training. So we go through ingress, how do you get into the rocket, egress, how do you get out of your seats and your harnesses, but also out of the capsule itself. We go through emergency procedures. We want to make sure that our team feels comfortable if anything were to happen.
And it preps you for those sights and sounds, right? A booster is an active machine, right, that you're on.
It's alive.
Right, and so those sights and sounds are a really important part of training that they're being prepared for.
So I am, thank my lucky stars, while I have not been an astronaut yet,
Yet is the operative word there.
Is the operative word there. I have gone through the entire New Shepard training program, the hospitality program. Next time, girl, you can come with me. But by the end, basically, I did everything minus get into the capsule and go to space and back. And by the end of it, I felt so comfortable, like I could go. And you get, as you said, comfortable with the vehicle. But then also you get to meet the team, not only your crew member 7s that we've talked extensively about, but also the designers, the operators. You go to mission control, you go to the barn, which is where we keep and maintain the vehicles. This is, there's a lot of thought that has been put into that training program. And, I can't give enough kudos to the entire team, also to the crew member 7s that are kind of the face of it as well. There's a really good balance of making sure you've got enough information, but you also know that you don't need to know everything that's going on, behind the scenes. I'm happy to tell you, but you don't need all that. We want you to feel comfortable so you can also just lay back, enjoy the flight.
And in Rob's case, do your science.
And in Rob's case, do your science. No, that's a really good point. Okay, we're at T-minus 3.5 minutes to go until this flight. Super excited. Again, there's nothing like a rocket launch and a countdown clock to get you going in the middle of the week at, 3 o'clock in the morning. But at T-minus 2 minutes here, what we're going to see is the vehicle is going to go into its built-in test. So what we call our bit checks. But those are actually driven by the vehicle itself. So it's a fully autonomous vehicle from T-minus 2 minutes through the launch and landing. Of course, we've got our team, as you've seen there on the on your screen in mission control. They've got their eyes glued to their screens, making sure that everything is within bounds. But the vehicle is driving itself. And so what we're going to see here in a minute, the most visible part of it, the fins at the base of the vehicle, those are going to gimbal back and forth. There are 4 of those fins, 1 on each quadrant. And then you will also see the nozzle. It's kind of hidden in your screen right there. Hopefully we'll get a peek. Also will gimbal back and forth. Those 2 subsystems work together in conjunction to guide the vehicle up. But as it's a reusable rocket, it will fly back down to its landing pad, just 2 miles north from which it takes off. And it's a really beautiful vehicle to watch it work in real life. And so that is what we're about to check out here. Let's tune into the rocket as she gets ready for her 26th mission of this program, the 8th human spaceflight. You see those aft fins moving back and forth. You see 2 out of the 4 waiting for the engine gimbal. There you go, peeking out bottom left of your screen. Jackie, this rocket is looking good and ready for launch this morning. You see the gantry has retracted. These astronauts are going to space. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our mission control team. Godspeed, New Shepard, and enjoy the flight, astronauts. See you when you get home.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Just start. 2, 1. Place off. Your Shepard has cleared the tower.
And there she goes. New Shepard has cleared the tower on its way to space. With its crew of 6, they are screaming up towards the Kármán line. You can see the speedometer on your bottom left there, as well as the altimeter. And we're going to follow along with the flight on the left side of your screen with those milestones. First one coming up here is Max Q. Max Q has been confirmed. Maximum dynamic pressure. It's when the forces on the vehicle between the atmosphere and the speed are at our maximum. We've punched right through it. As well as punched through that layer of clouds, the vehicle continues on its upward ascent towards space. If you are just joining us, we've had a clean liftoff of New Shepard's 26th flight in this program. We are witnessing the 8th human space flight of New Shepard. We have astronauts 38 through 43 on the vehicle on its way to space. Our next milestone here is main engine cutoff. And what we'll witness is the speed will start to come down, but the altitude will continue to go up. When the speed hits 0, it means we have hit apogee. And Jackie, I think one of the other cool part of this program is that you see that kind of slight little hot dog roll we got going on of the rocket. We just want to give, it's really is just to give the astronauts each a 360-degree view as they're going up, which is so cool. All right, main engine cutoff and separation have been confirmed. And Jackie, this is when our astronauts are feeling 0G. Dr. Rob Ferl is going to start his experiments up there in the cabin.
Hopefully after a little time to look out the window.
Yeah,
pre-experimentation.
I would totally steal at least a couple of looks out of those big, gorgeous windows. And again, we're coming up on apogee. You see that the speed is reducing. When it hits 0, that's when we've hit. That is when we've hit apogee. At this point, we are well over the Kármán line, about 328,000 or 100 kilometers, 328,000 feet or 100 kilometers up. And there it is, apogee. About 340,000 feet. Jackie, can you imagine the view?
I was talking about being jealous of your astronaut training, but I'm more jealous of them right now.
You know, they're unbuckled at the moment. They're turning their somersaults. They are soaking it in. They are, we're witnessing 6 people having their minds blown right now as we speak. But the booster is heading on down, and it will beat the capsule back to Earth. The booster, of course, has a controlled landing on a landing pad just 2 miles north of where it's taken off from. The capsule, less aerodynamically shaped, will land second under 3 parachutes in our landing zone in our valley in West Texas. So far, a nominal flight of our 26th mission to space and back of the New Shepard vehicle, plus our 8th human spaceflight.
Congratulations truly to all 6 of our astronauts today. Oh, I'm sorry, our crew who officially have become astronauts.
That's right.
Massive congratulations.
Over the Karman line.
Phoenix, report status is P436. Phoenix, report status.
Phoenix, 4, 5, and 6 are in. Hey, you can tell them if everyone's in.
All 6 astronauts are back in their seat, and the booster is screaming on home.
Yeah, as we mentioned, that booster is going to return to Earth a lot faster than the capsule because of the aerodynamic nature of the crew capsule.
It's coming back through the clouds.
That's a sweet view of the booster as it's coming back through the atmosphere here.
So we see the drag brakes have been deployed.
There's the relight of that BE3 engine. That gorgeous hover above the landing pad. And booster touchdown, a successful touchdown of the booster for the NS-26 mission. Always a sight to see.
Always a sight to see. I mean, it's been going thousands of miles per hour, and then it comes in landing. You see it just kind of hovers there at 5 miles an hour. It's such a smooth descent, and landing. And as a reminder to people, this is so critical to the reusability, because the smoother the landing, the less you jostle the rocket, the less you have to refurbish the rocket, the more uses you can get out of the rocket.
Absolutely, and some really cool things here, right? Like those fins you were talking about earlier, our lessons learned with guiding this vehicle back are going to be applied to our next big vehicle, New Glenn. So again, just so many lessons learned from this booster every single mission.
Every single mission. Now, the crew capsule is obviously also coming back down to land here. We are going to have first the drogue parachutes that come out. Those are kind of like the guide parachutes. Then we're going to see the mains. They will reef, so they're going to kind of go out just a little bit, and then they fully inflate. And talk about cutting speed. You can already see the speed on the screen there. It comes in at just like 15, 16 miles an hour for nice smooth. There she is.
And again, these parachutes, both the drogues and the mains, are essential in providing a gentle touchdown for the capsule. But as we get closer to the ground here, you're going to see a retro thrust system on the base of the capsule, which does kick up a bit of West Texas dust, but it makes for an even smoother touchdown than, again, like you said, the already slow speed that the capsule is descending at now. We're just 400 feet away from touchdown. Again, stay tuned for that retro thrust system here. And crew capsule touchdown. Welcome home to the newest 6 astronauts, the Blue Steel team. Once more, what appears to be a completely smooth flight for New Shepard. Our booster touching down at the landing pad, and a soft landing for our latest crew.
Just a beautiful flight, up and back. I mean, that is just one of the cleanest flights I've seen from this rocket, but behind every rocket is an extraordinary team. So a big shout out to the entire New Shepard program. What a beautiful flight today. And another congratulations to the 6 newest astronauts. What a day it has been. Now, our capsule recovery team is currently going to be driving out to the convoy to meet the capsule. They're going to safe the capsule and get ready to open the hatch and welcome our astronauts back home.
And that convoy includes, obviously, the vehicle team, the New Shepard professionals, but also the family members of our crew who, without a doubt, are excited to reunite with their loved ones, their newly minted astronauts. We saw it earlier in one of the videos, but some of those hugs when their astronauts come back to Earth are probably some of the most memorable, biggest hugs in a lifetime.
There's some mean hugs.
Those are some mean hugs.
We've captured some mean hugs on these webcasts. Well, so talking about friends and family, we talk. These people have dreamed of going to space for a long time, but with those sorts of dreams come friends and family that support in so many ways, emotional and otherwise. And on that note, while we're waiting for the recovery crew to make it out to the capsule, we were able a couple of days ago to have a chat with a very special former astronaut and someone who's got a tight connection with one of today's crew. Let's hear what NS-20 astronaut Jim Kitchen had to say about what this experience is like for astronauts, as well as what his daughter, Karsen Kitchen, may be experiencing right now. All right, we've got a very special guest with us today from our NS-20 crew, Jim Kitchen. Welcome back. How's it feel to be down in West Texas once again?
It's exciting to be here to watch another space launch, and here at the iconic El Capitan Hotel in lovely Van Horn, Texas.
Well, this isn't just any, space launch. There's somebody very special going up. Tell me about her.
This is a special launch. When she was a little girl, my daughter Karsen, she told me definitively that she's going to be an astronaut. And here we are 15 years later, and she's actually going to be an astronaut in going to space in a couple of days.
Obviously you're a very proud dad. There's got to be a lot of contradicting thoughts going through your head right now. What are you feeling?
Yeah, well put. It's emotional. Her mom and I are here. Our family's coming. Our friends are coming. It's emotional to see someone that's wanted to go to space and is actually, a dream come true. And, to be able to have that dream and to have it fulfilled is amazing. But, I think about Alan Shepard in 1961 going to space, and then his daughter Laura Shepard doing that after. It's surreal to think that she and I are going to be, have that in common. But it's such mixed feelings on this because it's exciting, but we're also watching this with anticipation.
Yeah, that's your baby.
It's my baby.
So. Have you spoken to Karsen since she started her training? What's going through her head these days at this moment? It's one thing to be thinking about it when you're back at home. It's another thing once you get to Van Horn, it's real.
Yeah, I saw her last night and she's really excited. She's a very positive person. She looked at me and said, "Dad, of all of the people that have ever lived on this this planet. And we talked about that number. It was 110 billion people. That she gets an opportunity to go to space. And she's dumbfounded by that. We were looking at the stars last night at the astronaut village, and she said, people since the dawn of humanity have wanted to go to space, and to actually be able to do that, be one of the first 700. There's only been 100 or so women that have done that. And so for her to be one of the youngest women, and the youngest woman to go past the Kármán line is surreal. But she's all business. She can't wait till launch day, and but she's just having the time of her life. She hugged me a couple times, and it's just like, I can't believe this is happening. But she's excited and very confident.
Amazing. Well, talking about all business, your daughter Karsen has found an amazing organization called Orbitel. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about the organization and its mission?
In general, what she wants to do is just encourage young women to pursue
Jackie, as we just saw, Jim Kitchen, a very proud father of his daughter, Karsen Kitchen, one of the newest astronauts we have here. And what we see on the screen, we've got our recovery crew. The first person that ran out there was Sarah Knights, our crew member 7. What she does first is she runs around the capsule to each one of the 6 windows, to each one of the 6 astronauts, gets the thumbs up, and make sure everybody is happy and safe. And then the rest of the team comes in. You've seen passing in the background the Rivian trucks. There goes another one. Those are filled with friends and family that are going to join here in a moment. Of course, first thing is safety. Need to make sure that the capsule has vented whatever it needs to vent. And that we've taken the lines of the parachutes off. And then next what you'll see is somebody will bring over the stairs to put under the hatch, to put next to the hatch. It's about a meter, it's about 3 feet, the bottom of the hatch from the base of the base of the hatch to the ground itself. So it just makes for a more comfortable egress for our astronauts as they come home. The capsule there seems to have found a really nice, clear spot in our desert to land. How convenient. I've been out there with the team trying to detangle the parachute lines from the brush that's out there. And that is, if you like taking out knots, if you're one of those odd people that really enjoys that and finds that...
I am not one of those
No, I'm not
people,
one of those either. If you find
personally.
that stress relieving, you should come join our team. But no, not today. It is a nice, clean landing of the crew capsule. You see the stairs have been put there. So we're just moments away here from the egress of our astronauts and the welcome home from their friends and family. Let's take a look. Welcome back, everybody, to New Shepard's 26th mission to space and back. If you missed it, a completely nominal and successful flight of both the booster, you see it nicely standing proud in the background.
Love this view.
A spectacular view. And
capsule with its ride in the background.
Yeah,
there. It's great.
In the foreground, a very happy capsule there. Our safety crew is safing the vehicle, making sure everything is vented, making sure the parachute lines are detached. We have the stairs that are all set up there. We're waiting for the astronauts to egress. We've got the additional vehicles that are rolling in here with friends and family. And inside that capsule, Jackie, we've got 6 of the newest astronauts. I mean, this view for me never gets old. I've been here 10 years. This is the 8th one of these we've done. More than 40 astronauts we've supported going to space. God,
there are those family and friends getting over there, getting ready for those big hugs that we were talking about earlier. A big congratulations to Karsen Kitchen, who has become the youngest female to cross over the Kármán line, the internationally recognized line of space at 100 kilometers up. And also just a huge congratulations to Dr. Rob Ferl and his entire team at the University of Florida Plant Lab, which is so amazing. He's the first NASA-funded researcher to journey on a commercial suborbital vehicle. Again, I can't wait to read that research paper. And Jackie, we've talked about it earlier in the show. One of the things that's so cool about New Shepard is we've done payloads, we've done human space flight. We're now combining the two for tended missions. It serves as a perfect pipeline for the science community from around the world to fly their experiments and their technology up to space. You get a couple of minutes of zero-G up in space. By the way, we can also put experiments mounted on the outside of the capsule if you want exposure to the vacuum of space. Yeah, we've actually flown some really cool lunar landing sensors mounted on the exterior of the booster. When we get that, re-entry data, it's super helpful for those type of payloads as well. It's super helpful, and sometimes you don't necessarily need the full flight to the International Space Station, which is very cool and oftentimes what you do need. But in building up to that flight to the ISS, start with a New Shepard launch, which is less expensive. You get your science back immediately. You can do it again, and then get ready to go to fly. So, this is the first, I hope, of many, many human-tended experiments to go on New Shepard. Jackie, I was just looking at the capsule. One of the things that stands out to me, so I've watched a lot of these launches and landings, is, the capsule picked a really nice, clear spot in the desert. I've been out there with the team when these parachute lines get all, tangled up in the brush, and there are some really nasty, pokey plants out there, and I don't know if you're one of those people that enjoy undoing knots. I'm not. I don't even like untying a knot in my shoelace, so I'm definitely not one of those people. Yeah. Then come join us for that parachute crew. But here we go. Hatches open. Welcome back, astronauts. Seeing a lot of smiles, a lot of jubilance here.
Oh, that is love. That is emotion.
How are you feeling? Yeah.
You see the families, Jackie, we talked about it, you know, this might be the astronaut's dream, but the support that they need and they get from these family members and friends that are down there, that's, you know, you have astronauts that are having emotions that they've never felt, but to see your loved one come back from an experience like that.
Right, and like
amazing.
we said earlier, Spaceflight on New Shepard has kind of become a family affair. So seeing that hug between New Shepard astronaut Jim Kitchen and his daughter Karsen, really just such a special moment, really hitting that point home in a very unique way.
So we've seen all 6 of our astronauts come out again, absolutely jubilant. We saw Dr. Rob Ferl put his University of Florida hat on, representing. As you said, I can't wait to read his research paper on his findings.
Yeah, I don't think I've read something like that since high school biology, but I am ready. Now is my time. And I will tell you, when I learned about it in high school, they weren't talking about something like what Rob just did. And so I'm very, very excited for what's to come out of that and the potentially huge impact on science and research. It's just so exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's wonderful what boundaries a program like New Shepard can press forward. Obviously, we're looking forward to the next generation, which is New Glenn, our big orbital rocket that will be launching for the first time later this year, and all the doors that it's going to open.
Absolutely. And again, you know, really the lessons learned from New Shepard are so applicable to everything we've been doing on New Glenn. We mentioned the fins earlier as just an example, but even with mission operations, right? Conducting a mission like NS-26, all of those lessons learned are directly applicable to our mission operators for New Glenn here in just a few months.
In just a few months. And I mean, I can't wait for that day, Jackie. That is, I mean, think about the emotion that we're feeling here today. I'm going to make an analogy. Please, bear with me. It's going to be a bit tortured here.
I'm ready for it.
110,000 pounds of thrust on the BE-3 engine. You take that and you multiply it by 35, 3.85 million pounds of thrust on the base of the New Glenn rocket.
Now you're doing math. So over the course of this webcast, we've hit biology, chemistry, and mathematics. So I just wanted to acknowledge that.
We're hitting all those STEAM landmarks.
We are.
But, you know, that is it is going to be at least 35 times as, you know, as exciting. And the rumble that's going to happen down there at the Cape, I mean, it is going to be huge. It is going to be absolutely huge. You know, and by the way, just like New Shepard, it will evolve to take humans on board. And this same emotion, you're going to see that after astronauts have gone to space, gone to the moon. I mean, it's what we're doing here at Blue Origin is no, I just feel very fortunate to be part of the program, part of the company.
Yeah, I have to tell you, Ariane, back about 8 years ago when I joined Blue, the real, you know, thing that tipped it over for me was the people here at Blue, and you were one of them back in the day.
Oh, stop.
Truly.
Jackie
and still
Cortez.
are to this day. So thank you, Ariane.
Okay, yeah, it's a little far. It just didn't take you very long. That's awesome. No, it didn't take you long at all.
I know.
The contrast between you, I mean, you kind of black out. Oh, yeah.
There he is.
Yeah, I did. Thank you so much.
So fun.
That was amazing.
Welcome, astronaut. It's great.
That was.
Before.
And then it becomes just.
Yeah.
So they're getting a couple of insights from Karsen Kitchen. Obviously, the audio's a little patchy out there.
Amon helped you out. Yes, so were you yelling like somebody helped me?
But
We hit 100 the countdown. Rob, I didn't hear the final number. Did you see the final number? Share with us. We'll find out. I'll find out. What was it like?
105 was pretty good. It was well above.
The ride was incredibly smooth, and I was so impressed with the ride up. But being there,
No ambiguity on that.
the darkness of space, you can't. There's no way to talk about it. There's no way to talk about how impressive space is and the Earth
You all get
below.
out of your seats?
This is- I've heard-
Again, yeah, understanding this audio is a little shaky here, but again, we'll get all of these amazing reactions on our socials
Science
clearly,
went well.
so stay tuned for that after the
Everything
mission.
worked the way it was supposed to. The hours, weeks, and months of preparation all went real well. Everything is good.
That's
I
great.
couldn't have been a better experience.
Thank you for helping us pathfind what this looks like moving forward.
I think it's been
You bet. There's room and opportunity for scientists of all sizes, shapes, and ages to do this. They really should. There's a lot of opportunity in a ride like that.
We know like the fire's not.
Thanks
you.
for flying, Ron.
Yeah, the whole
Congratulations.
thing.
You're the best.
It's red and
Thank
orange. There's the fires coming
Well,
on
if you're
the
looking
outside.
for a testimonial for the future of human-tended research on New Shepard, I couldn't have said it better myself. So there it is from Dr. Rob Ferl. What just an absolutely incredible day for all of us, and especially for our crew on board NS-26. Karsen Kitchen, Nicolina Elrick, Rob Ferl, Eiman Jahangir, Eugene Grin, and Ephraim Rabin. It was an absolute honor to fly you to space today. If you, listening in, you watching, would like to follow in the pioneering footsteps of these astronauts and purchase a seat on a future ride to space, visit blueorigin.com and click Fly to Space. Pretty straightforward there, right?
Keep it easy.
Your own journey to visit the Kármán line is closer than you think.
And if you would like to purchase a mission patch to commemorate today's launch, head to the Blue Origin shop for patches and a lot more sweet gear. Here's that patch, if we can get it on screen here, for today's, there you go, for today's flight, which is what our astronauts, you saw it on their suit, that green color and the plants ascending in spiral lines representing the living organisms that Rob Ferl had in his experiment. The continuous loop represents Ephraim Rabin's career in supply chain. The heart represents Dr. Eiman Jahangir's career as a cardiologist. The spiral line towards space represents Eugene Grin's passion for travel. And the children at the bottom represent Karsen Kitchen and Nicolina Elrick's childhood dreams to go to space. But they also represent Club for the Future's mission to inspire and mobilize future generations to pursue STEAM careers. Now, if you want to join us and build a road to space, we have hundreds of positions open across all of our facilities across the U.S. You see it there, including machinists, programmers, from Florida to Alabama to our headquarters up in the state of Washington. Just visit our website for more details at blueorigin.com/careers. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Ariane Cornell. Jackie, it was a pleasure to have you here at the desk with me.
Always a pleasure, Ariane, and with our third webcast
And
host.
with our third webcaster here, the future astronaut. Thank you so much for joining us until our next launch, Gradatum Ferociter. Have you ever dreamed of going to space and gazing back on Earth
through some of the largest windows that have ever flown in space? We certainly have.
T-minus 10, 9.
A once-in-a-lifetime journey is closer than you think. It's your time to join the new generation of astronauts. To book your flight, visit blueorigin.com and click Fly to Space. Tell us as much as you can about yourself. We welcome you to the final frontier.